You may have noticed that when you tell someone something, it doesn't always register. It doesn't change them in any way. But when they make that discovery for themselves, when it's their own insight, the changes are made. Now, as a speaker, especially if you're telling a story, you cannot always assume that your story is going to really affect the listener as much as you'd like it to. But there are little techniques you can use to make them feel that it is their discovery. So you avoid telling them the moral of the story. This is one of the worst things that you can do, to tell them the moral of the story. If they haven't discovered it for themselves, your telling it is not going to reinforce it in any way. But you can prompt them a little. Let me give you an example. I tell a story about a farmer, a very religious farmer, who is in a predicament. He's trapped on the roof of his house in a great flood. 3 different groups of people come to help him, and he refuses help from every one of them. And then I ask them at the end of the story, because he's a religious man, I asked them this question: did God really answer his prayers? This allows the audience to think, what's the answer? Did God help the man, or offer to help the man in any way? And the answer is usually forthcoming. Yes, he was helped, but he refused help. Now, I don't tell them that. They come to that conclusion themselves. And then I can help them along the way and say, now, did God speak to each of those rescuers individually? Was there a little voice saying, this is God speaking, please help the man on the roof? And of course, their answer is no. And then I say, well, what is God? And this gives them then another chance to bring the insight, the love of the fellow human being. Love and God go hand in hand. So this is how I can get the audience to use their own insights, their own imaginings, their own feelings to come up with the answers which I've been trying to put them across to them. Now, if I spelt it out all the way through, this is what the story is all about, it would have lost its impact. So as I said, let the audience find the moral to the story. Let them make the discovery. It is well known that if you write a book on something and there's some great truths in it, they will get some benefit out of it. But quite often they'll lay it aside and forget what they've read. But if the insight comes from them, if it wells up within their own being, then it will make a big impression on their life, and then the change will come. So as a storyteller, try to bring that sort of insight into your audience. That is the way you will transform them, or that is the way you will help them transform themselves.